Hello everybody, and once again I welcome you all to the biology classes. So we are discussing the chapter that is a transport in plants. The chapter name is transport in plants. Now, the transport in plants states that how much the transport of the food and the water occur. Starting from the roots, in case of the water, starting from the root, how it is being transferred with the help of xylem to the different parts of the plant. This is called as a water transport, and we will be dealing with the food transfer as well. When we talk about the transport, we have already discussed about the certain forces which are responsible for the transport of the food and well as for the transport of the water, right? We have discussed about the different potential that actually generated due to which this transfer occur. We have discussed about the different mechanisms by which this transport occurs, such as apoplastic, symplastic pathway, vacuolytic, non-vacuolytic. We have discussed all of these, right? When we talk about this ascent of sap, in this, first of all, write that topic name that today I'll be dealing with, ascent of sap. Today's topic is ascent of sap. Now, what exactly the meaning of ascent of sap? Ascent means a translocation, sap means a water. Not only it has water, but also it has inorganic solvents. So, ascent, we can also write it as a translocation of water. Now tell me one thing, students, what is the name of that particular tissue which is responsible for the translocation of water, right? And the name of that tissue is the xylem. So, when we talk about ascent means translocation, now let's talk about the sap. What exactly this sap is? The sap is water and inorganic solvent. Water plus inorganic solvent. They all constitute sap. When we talk about the sap, all the nutrients and all the water a plant used to get, that is from the roots only, that is from the soil only. The water which is available to the plant, that is called as a capillary water. Rest all the water, they are not available to the plant. When we talk about the water, not only the water, certain inorganic substances which are important for the growth of the plant, they are also absorbed along with the water, right? And all of these, they are absorbed with the help of a special tissue called as a xylem, right? So, the function of the translocation of the water is to transport all those minerals starting from the root hair to the leaves. This actually occur in the translocation of the water. Now, when we talk about the translocation of the water, various theories have been put forward. And when we talk about the various theories, the most accepted theory is the transpiration pull theory or cohesion tension theory, right? This is the most accepted theory. But before that, many theories they were given, right? We will be dealing with all those theories one by one, right? Because many times it is asked in the paper that this theory, what is the basis of this theory and all, so many things they used to ask. So, I don't want to leave any of the topic which is important for your NEET, right? It is already mentioned in your NEET exam, in NEET syllabus, so I am just starting the topic. So, the first theory, we will talk about the theories of translocation of water. The first theory is called as a vital force theory. Now listen to this very carefully, the vital force theory. Vital force theory is somewhere or other an imaginary theory that states that translocation of the water occur because of the pulsating action of the live cells, and those live cells which were mentioned in the vital force theory, they were the cortex cells, right. Because of the pulsating action, they withdraw water from the root, and because of that pulsating action only, they take the water to the different part of the body, right. This is a vital force theory. When we talk about the major supporter was J.C. Bose, Sir J.C. Bose. He was a major supporter of this vital force theory, and after this various experiments were done in this direction to prove whether this theory is there, it actually exists or not, is it true or not. So what the experiment was done? The experiment was based upon the fact that they have killed those vital cells, right. With the help of certain poisons, they have killed those vital cells, and even in the absence of the vital cell, it was seen that this translocation of the water occurs. So let us write about the vital force theory. The vital force theory supported by Sir J.C. Bose. Supported by Sir J.C. Bose. This theory is also called as, so remember this very carefully, when I am giving one or two names to the theory, you should remember the another name as well. So the name of this theory is also called as a pulsating theory. Now, what does this theory say? Is that this theory says that pulsating action of live cell, and what are the live cells? Cortex cells. Cortex cell help in translocation of water. Right. That's it. That is enough, because I'm not giving you notes for your CBSE you can say paper. So this is enough. You should remember the actual thing. Pulsating means a continuous pulsating action like our heart does. So this is a pulsating action of our live cell, and the major they were talking about the cortex cell. So how this was proved that this is a wrong theory? This was proved by Strasburger in the year 1891 and 1893. Right. In the year 1891 and 1893, they did one experiment, and what they did, they killed live cell. All the live cells they killed, and by what? By poison. Right. Even after killing those live cells, it was seen that the translocation of the water occurred. So I am just writing over here, even after killing, translocation occur. Translocation of water is still going on. Still going on. That means these live cells are not the reason for the translocation of the water. So this was the first theory which is termed as a vital force theory. As per the ascent of sap or translocation in water is considered. Right. So this was the first theory. So with this it was disproved, this theory was disproved. Let's talk about the second theory. The second theory is called as a root pressure theory, right. Let's talk about that. Now, what does this root pressure theory say? Root pressure theory. This was the second theory, right. Now, what exactly the meaning of the root pressure theory? It is clearly written in the name itself, root pressure. That means a force is there, that force we can call it as a root pressure, right. And this root pressure, this is developed in the roots, And because of this development of the root pressure, there is a continuous pulling of those water, continuous translocating of this water occur from a lower level, that is from the roots to the tips of the plant. But actually later on it was disproved, because that is only around a very small, around 2 atmosphere around this pressure was generated, and this is not enough for this much translocation of the water, that is from the roots to the tips, and it's very impossible. So what's the reason behind this root pressure theory, how this root pressure developed? Root pressure developed because of the only single reason. This actually exists, but this is disproved in case of the angiosperm. Sorry, in case of the gymnosperm, root pressure doesn't exist. So even the translocation occur in those plants also. So this was not reason, this was later on rejected, right? So how this root pressure developed? This is because the transpiration rate is very low and the absorption is very high, due to which the root pressure develops in the roots. So this states that root pressure develops due to increase in absorption of water from roots in roots from soil, sorry. So in roots from soil. Obviously, right, more absorption is there. And the second problem that exists over there, that was the less of the transpiration rate, less transpiration rate. Now listen to this very carefully. The two processes, they are occurring simultaneously. The one, that is the absorption of this water from soil. Another is the transpiration rate. These processes should be maintained, so that a continuous column should be created from the roots to the tips. But in this case, they said that a pressure was developed. This pressure is developed because of increase in absorption and the less transpiration rate. And this lead to the formation of the root pressure, and this root pressure, they help in translocation of the food. So it was said that this help in translocation of water. But later on this theory was rejected. This is because of the reason that because root pressure is very less, around 2 atmosphere. So one thing I would like to tell you about, that this theory was given by Priestley. So do not forget to write the scientist as well, Priestley, right? So what is the objections of this theory? Objections was, the pressure was, or you can say the root pressure is around 2 atmosphere, right? And this much root pressure is not sufficient for translocation of water in trees. This was a major problem which was associated with the root pressure theory, which is called as a second theory, called as a root pressure theory. Right? Now, let's discuss about the third theory. Come at this side. The third theory, the most accepted theory of ascent of sap, which is called as a cohesion tension theory, or that is also called as a transpiration pull theory. Let's talk about them. The third theory, which is called as a cohesion tension theory and or you can say it is also called as transpiration pull theory. So this theory states that there are three forces that help in the translocation of the water. One of the forces is called as a cohesion, another is adhesion, and third one is called as a transpiration pull. Right? These are the three forces that actually exist. Now, what is the reason behind it? Some of the forces, they exist between this water molecule. Some of the forces, they exist between the water molecule and the xylem. Cohesion and tension. Right? Sorry, cohesion and adhesion, two forces. The third kind of force, because of these cohesion and adhesion, a column is created because of the surface tension, and that can hold the problem which is associated with non-translocating, right? They maintain that gravitational pull, right? So that they rise because of the surface tension. So, the third force which they have explained is that the transpiration pull. Transpiration pull is that pull that in the previous class also I was talking about the transpiration pull. Transpiration pull is that pull. Suppose in any plant the transpiration is occurring. Transpiration means a loss of the water from the surface of the plant. They can be from the loss, they can be from the trees, they can be from the various other parts such as stems as well. So, what happens is that the water is continuously losing from the surface. As the water is losing from the surface, the mesophyll cell which is present in the stomata, those mesophyll cells, they will become plasmolized because no water is there between them. Because it is become plasmolized, it is a plant cell, the cell wall remain intact like this, but there is decrease in the protoplasm. As the protoplasm of it will decrease, there is a less number of the water in between them. That means the DPD will increase, right? Diffusion, pressure, deflect, they will increase. When there is increase in the DPT, now what will happen? They will tell the surrounding cell, okay, give me more water because I have become plasmolized. And they will understand this. Why? Because now they are having a lesser DPD, right? But it has more DPD. So there will be continuous movement of the water. So, again we have the next cell. Those next cell, now they are having a more DPD. So, they will tell a next cell, give me more water, right? And this is how a continuous extraction of the water occur from those cell to the mesophyll cell. Continuous extraction, a pull will be generated and they will ultimately go to the xylem. And they will tell xylem give me more water, I have to transfer this to the outside. Okay, then xylem will give water. Similarly, the xylem will take the water from the endodermis. They will tell endodermis, take the water from the roots and give me some water because I have to maintain that capillary action because of the cohesion and adhesion forces. Okay, now the endodermis has more water. Endodermis will extract from where? They will extract from the cortex cells. Obviously, beneath them the cortex cells are there. Cortex cell will tell to the root hairs, okay, the more and more absorption occur because the transpiration is occurring, and this is how a total transpiration pull will be maintained. And these transpiration pull, because of the cohesion and adhesion forces, these three forces, they form a capillary sort of the action, right? From there to there, a small capillary, a very fine capillaries action will be formed, due to which there is a continuous transport of the water occur. So, this is the most accepted theory which is called as a cohesion and tension theory. This theory was given by Dickson and Joly. Let's first write about the transpiration pull, right? Then we will explain, then we will talk about the cohesion and adhesion. The first most important is the transpiration pull. Transpiration pull. Transpiration pull means absorption of water, or you can first of all, I'll give you this in the form of a ray diagram, right? First of all, what will happen? There will be transpiration occur. Transpiration in leaves. right? So what will happen because of this? DPD of mesophyll cell, they increase. Normally DPD will increase. Now DPD, as a DPD will increase, DPD of the mesophyll cell, they will tell the nearby cell to give me more water, right? Now what will happen? A nearby cell give water to mesophyll cell. Because the nearby cells which is there, these nearby cells, they are having less DPD. DPD, right? They are having less. So the movement of the water will occur from this side to this side. Now what will happen? The DPD of the nearby cell will increase. Right? They will tell nearby cell, give me more water, right? Now what will happen? So, extract water from other cell. Now, other cell, those other cells which are there, they will tell to the xylem, they will ultimate go to the xylem, xylem, you are enriched with water, then do give me water. They will take the water from xylem. Now, hope you remember the exact sequence when I was talking about the apoplastic and symplastic. Xylem used to take water from where? They used to take water from the endodermis. Endodermis has what? It has Casparian strips. Endodermis will take water. They will tell the cortex cell. Cortex cells, give me more and more water. Cortex cells will tell the ultimate source, the root hairs. Root hairs. Root hairs to extract more and more water from where? Soil. So, this is how the whole process occurs. First of all, the transpiration in leaves, the first process. Second, DPD of the mesophyll cell, they will increase. You have to remember the exact sequence of this thing. You won't get this proper sequence anywhere in any of your books. So, remember this very carefully. Now, this will happen. And can you remember the exact name of it? This is a passive transport of water, right? This will be the fourth and this will be the fifth, right? This will be the sixth one, seventh, eighth, ninth, and the last but a very important part, the 10th. These are the 10 things that will happen in the transpiration pool. Now listen to this again very, very carefully. This transpiration pool will be formed, right? This transpiration pool, when it starts from this side, this is called as a passive process. This is not related to this, but whenever in any question, any passive translocation is seen, you have to remember, you have to draw this one only. This is a passive translocation. That means this is going from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And suppose it starts from this side, then it is called as the active transport or active absorption. These are the two types of absorption. This was the first force which is called as a transpiration pull, and the theory was given by the Dickson and Joly. So remember this, students, note down this. So students, this is the first type of force which is called as a transpiration pull. Hope you are clear with this type of passive transport or passive absorption. Now let's talk about the another two types. The first is a cohesion I have mentioned over here, and next is a adhesion. Let's talk about this because these two forces, they are also very important, right? Along with why this transpiration pull, why this capillarity action has started. This is because of the two forces which is called as a cohesion and adhesion. Now let's talk about the adhesion first. This is a second adhesion. No need to go in detail, just you need to remember is that this is an actual force which exists between the water molecule and the xylem, right? Force, or you can say the attraction between water molecule and xylem. Only you need to remember this thing. And this is very important because we have to create a sort of capillarity action. Now let's talk about the third type of very important called as a cohesion forces. Cohesion forces. When we talk about the cohesion forces, that means it is a force between the water molecules only. Those water molecule which is present in the, not in atmosphere, I'm sorry for that, but which is present inside the plant, there should be a force between them, and that force is called as a cohesive force. Force between the water molecule. Now listen to this very, very, very carefully. Force is there between the water molecule. Now what will happen? Generation of surface tension. A surface tension will be generated between them. Because of this generation of the surface tension, there will be formation of capillaries, that is a capillarity formation. Water will move in the form of a fine capillaries. And this capillary formation, this capillarity formation will be able to resist the pull. To resist forces, and ultimately my focus was the formation of this capillarity, and there is a continuous capillarity formation is there. Now the third force is another force come at this side, the another force which I have talked about, which is a transpiration pull. Now because cohesive forces are there, cohesive forces between the water molecule, because of surface tension a capillarity formation or like this has happened, like this is a capillarity, this is a root and this is a stem, capillarity formation is occurring. Now there should be one force that should extract this thing again and again, and that force is called as a transpiration pull. Because of the increase in the transpiration, more and more water will be absorbed from the soil surface, right? Now let's understand this with the help of a diagram. Come at this side. So let's talk about this is a tree. Right? Imaginary tree. Just imagine this is a tree, right? So this is the stem and this is, you can say, the canopy of the trees. Between these, what I will found under these roots, there are root structures, roots are present, and these root structures, they have root fibers, and those root fibers that I have talked about, they increase the surface area. Root hairs we have, and those root hairs, they increase the surface area, right? Let me draw this properly. It's looking like that some mosses are growing. So, these are the roots, right? And this is a surface of soil surface we have. In this soil surface, below this we have these root, and on these root I have told you that the certain root hairs they are present, and these root hairs they increase the surface area for the absorption of the water. Now, understand this very carefully. In this what will happen, I am not drawing any diagram, I am just giving you in this detail. Here what will happen, the absorption of water occur. Absorption of water occur, right? And this absorption of the water will be because of the change in the osmotic concentration, or more precisely I can say because of the osmotic pressure. Because of more osmotic pressure in root hairs than soil. Majorly it is because of the osmotic pressure. Sometime it happens because of the non-osmotic pressure also, and we have discussed about this osmotic pressure. Now what will happen? More and more water will try to enter into it, right? Because there is a change in the concentration. Water will migrate to this stem. Now here what will happen? Two forces, they form a capillary. Not even I'm saying a capillary doesn't mean only a single capillary will be formed. There will be multiple capillaries will be formed. Capillaries formation in xylem, in the xylem tissue, and these capillary formation because of adhesion and cohesion forces. Hope you are understood with this. These are the two important forces, that is adhesion and cohesion. Their surface tension, they have formed a capillaries from here to there. Now, if I draw a diagram, if I draw in between, I will be able to see a capillaries like this. This is an ultra version. Do not see that such type of things will be seen. Some capillaries, they will be formed like this. Multiple capillaries in the xylem tissues, and those capillaries will be having a continuous flow of the water. From the root hairs to the tip of the plant. Right. So, continuous capillaries. I have not made here this continuous capillaries, but it's quite but you can imagine that there are continuous capillaries like that. Now, as we go up, we have leaves over here. On these leaves, we have a stomata. Stomata will lose water, and this process is called as transpiration. Right? And this stomata, because of this continuous loss of the water in the form of a water droplet, what will happen? They will generate a transpiration pull, right? Because of the mesophyll cell. become plasmolized. They are plasmolized over here. As they are plasmolized over here, now what will happen? They will form another force along with cohesion and the adhesion. The another force that will form over here, which is called as a transpiration pull. A transpiration pull will be generated. Now, listen to this. Three forces they are acting. First is the adhesion force, that means between this water molecule and the outermost membrane, that means the cells of the xylem vessels, xylems and the tracheids. Another force, cohesion forces, that means between these water molecule, the forces that exist together. Because of the cohesion forces, the surface tension, they create capillaries. Surface tension create capillaries. Right, a continuous, you can say a continuous capillaries will be formed, and because of these three forces, each and every part of the plant will get the water. Right, this is how the transpiration occur, and this is a most accepted theory by the Dickson and Joly. Now, what are the different problems which are associated with this absorption of the water or the transpiration translocation of the water? The major problem is because sometimes the gases are present in the ascent on the plant sap. Those gases, they block these paths. They block these paths. The gas molecule, they accumulate over here like this, and they block this path. In that case, it is not even explained that how this transpiration, or you can say that how this translocation of the water occur. So this is a major problem which is associated with this cohesion and the tension theory. So students, with this we have completed the three important theory, right? The first theory was called as a vital force theory. That was just a pulsating, that was based upon the pulsating action of cortex cells, the live cells. The first theory, which was rejected later on, because when they killed those cells, ultimately what has happened, those they were they were able to translocate the water. Second theory was called as a root pressure theory. The root pressure theory states that some root pressure is generated because of the more absorption of water and the less transpiration. The transpiration is occurring very less, more and more absorption is occurring. That's why some root pressure is developed over here. But this was not proved in case of the gymnosperm, because we cannot see any kind of root pressure in them. And when we see some of the root pressure, that is only around the 2 to 3 atmosphere, and that is very less to take the water up to this level. This was the second problem, second theory, The third theory was based upon the cohesion and the tension theory, or you can say the transpiration pull theory given by the Dickson and Joly, right? Hope you are understood with the today's lecture when we have discussed about the theories of these ascent of sap. In the next class, I will be talking about some of the physical forces that actually form some theories such as cohesion theory, imbibition theory. We will be talking about that as well. But these theories, they are very, very, very important for your NEET, right? So this is all about the today's lecture. Students, will meet in the next lecture with more theories.